What is going down, my friends? Mr. Jonathan Budd making a video from the rooftop for you guys today. I figured we're moving out of this house pretty soon. We're moving on to greener pastures and kind of looking at what the next expansive place to live is. And I've never made a video from our little roof balcony thing up here, so I figured, what the heck, today I might as well. And this is part of a little series I'm doing with my hurt bird wing here. But I hope you thoroughly enjoy it today, and don't worry, the fact that I've got a little hurt bird wing certainly is not going to stump my energy and enthusiasm for today's message. So check it out, my friends. Here's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about, a lot of times you hear about, high performance and things you need to do to high perform. Today, I'm actually going to teach you guys about low performance and the things you need to avoid low performance. Because if there's one thing that kind of pisses me off more than anything about my own life is when I'm in any kind of state of low performance. And I have rigorously analyzed and observed these states so much that I've been able to discover a few things about what leads to low performance. And first off, I just want to tell you this right now, that low performance, i.e. not getting stuff done, being a crappy performer, not being an executor, not being efficient, not being productive, is what robs most people of the success they're trying to create. It's not that they don't have the skills. It's not that they don't have the intelligence. It's not that they don't have the capacity. It might not even be that they don't have the dream or the drive. But most often what they don't have is that work ethic. It's that understanding of how to maximize the value of their time in every single day that they're working. And so I've got this buddy of mine who he used to run, now he's retired and wealthy beyond belief, but he used to run a $1.5 billion private equity fund, okay? So over the course of 2 decades, he invested in so many companies, it was unbelievable, because private equity goes in, they fund companies, that's kind of their deal, right? And what he told me was, out of all the companies he invested in, that the founders who had the craziest work ethics, this is a big surprise, right? The craziest work ethics were the most successful people. In almost all the cases, those who were willing to work harder than everyone else were the most successful people. It wasn't exactly the idea, it wasn't exactly the talent, it wasn't exactly the ability, although you have all that, you've got to have all that, but just the sheer working drive, the sheer work capacity was what he observed in all of his most successful companies that he invested billions of dollars in over the course of 2 decades. So we should be learning from this, because if we haven't developed and crystallized a pristine work ethic, then we're not yet able to reach our full potential. And so what I want to teach you guys about low performance is this. You need to observe yourself like a stinking hawk, okay? Like a hawk. And I want you to just ask yourself some questions. These are questions that I ask myself. These are questions you can ask yourself. When are you making money? This is a big one. When are you actually making money? Because sometimes we trick the crap out of ourselves. We think we're doing something productive and we're not. So what we really need to get clear on, my friends, is when are we making money and when are we deceiving ourselves that we're making money? And let me give you a few examples, okay? Over the past 6 months, I've went through some radical new experiences in the world of business. Everything from, getting plugged into the VC world in Silicon Valley to learning about these brand new things like apps and gamification and all these crazy technologies and, being at the startup phase of huge platforms and blah, 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 all this stuff, right? And so there was a lot of new experiences that I had over the last 6 months, and one of these new experiences was meetings. I was in a lot of different meetings, right? So I'd be meeting with potential partners over here, and potential partners, and partners, and coming up with strategy, all these things. And at the end of the day, after a lot of these meetings, I started realizing that they weren't really leading to much. And of course they did lead to something. It helps crystallize vision, it helps gain clarity about partnerships. It does help these things, but I wasn't making any money from these meetings. And I started to get this nagging feeling like I was wasting time, or that something just wasn't right. Like I was not being as productive as I really knew I was capable of being, since, you know, really the last 6 years I've done nothing but work my ass off and make a ton of money. So to be spending all this time and not seeing the money, I was like, something's wrong. You know, what has shifted here? And I realized that, oh my God, when I'm making a ton of money, this is what's usually happening. It's me, myself, sitting down in front of a computer or in front of some sort of creative possible space and coming up with things, right? I'm either writing web copy, I'm creating products, I'm making videos, I'm doing something creative. And that's when I realized that when I'm doing creative stuff myself, money is very soon to follow, right? The second thing I realized is when I'm working with individuals who are artists or have talent, and we're engineering stuff, whether it's programmers and we're building software, or building platforms, or designers and we're building pages or building apps, money is soon to follow. So what I started to realize is like, oh, wait a minute, these are the things that actually really lead to money. And I started observing what are the things that don't really lead to money, but on the surface you might think they do, you know, right? Like being in meetings every day and doing all these Google documents and whatever the heck else we were doing. And that's not to say that that doesn't ever lead to fruitful results. It's just that I personally noticed, you know, over just the last 6 months in this unique experience, that it wasn't. And so when I noticed that, it caused me to sort of refocus on everything that does. And I started paying much more attention to what does actually create money, what does actually lead to me having big windfall successes. You need to do the exact same thing. You need to carefully critique your life. You need to look at every single place where you spend time, and you need to assess, you know, essentially the value of that time that's being spent there, and what's it actually creating and what's it actually producing. Now, this doesn't mean that you eradicate everything from your life that isn't about making money. That's silly, right? Because if we lived like that, we'd be burnt out, stressed, miserable within a month. So, you know, a lot of times we don't realize this, but things that have nothing to do with making money actually help you make more money. And we call those rejuvenating activities, right? So in my life, here's what I want to be doing. This is pretty much it. If I could have anything, and strangely enough, it's not very far off, it's these two things. It's just I want to be, when I'm working on only the things that are productive as imaginable, right? Productive as heck. And when I'm not working, I want to be doing only the things that are recharging my batteries, rejuvenating my life, rejuvenating my soul beyond belief as well. So I come over here, I spend my energy working on all the things that create the biggest results, and I go back over here and I play and I live and I rejuvenate and I recharge all that energy so I can come back over here and spend it creating even more results. But I don't want any bull crap in the middle. I don't want any extraneous waste. None of it, right? And these are the secrets of seriously high performance. And so what I want you to do is I want you to be very honest with yourself, and don't let tricky little things sneak into your life that cause you to be a low performer and not operate at your potential and not operate at your peak capacity. And you know, I can't tell you what this is, but you know. If you're being honest with yourself and you really diligently observe your habits and just what you do in your daily life, and you're being honest, you know. And I'll give you a few examples. You know, some people who might, and at the core of all this, you know, it's avoiding what's hard and gravitating towards what's easy, right? Except when we do that, it actually creates the opposite results in the long term of our life. When we avoid what's hard and gravitate towards what's easy, our life actually feels really freaking hard, and you know, we don't have anything we want. and we're just trying to avoid each moment essentially with what's easy. Opposite enough of that, when you actually seek what's hard and avoid what's easy, yes, you deal with stuff in the moment that needs some grit. You got to have some grit, but it makes everything so much easier in the long run, and your life is so much better. So a lot of times we know the productive work that we need to be doing, or we know where we need to be growing or where we need to be developing, but it's an edge. It's a growth edge. We don't want to go there. It's painful, it's difficult, it's unknown, it's challenging. So we'll go spend, I don't know, 40 minutes on Facebook looking at people's new posts or what their photos are or blah, 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 blah. Or we'll go over to YouTube and we'll see, hey, what is this, blah, 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 blah. And the real actual important thing to our lives didn't get done. And we're like, well, whatever, I'll do that after dinner. And then after dinner, oh crap, the new show's coming on, or maybe I'll just watch a movie. This is the cycle and the spiral downward of poor performance, of terrible performance. And as an entrepreneur, you've got to have a ludicrous discipline. This is the truth. A ludicrous discipline. It's so much more discipline than I think most people even imagine it is. At least that's my experience of it. My experience is that I have to be willing to cut off all of that crap before it even has the chance, the potential to sneak into my life in any, consistent way. All of it. And that means, every time you almost get that feeling to, well, no, maybe I just won't do this work now. I'll go watch the movie. I'll do it later. I'll play the game. I'll do something else. Nope, because as soon as you start making those concessions, you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. So just to finish up, if you want to create the most powerful foundation for performance, for being just a master executor, for getting insane amounts of valuable work done, then you've got to have a rigorous discipline with cutting off all of those habits to avoid what's hard and seek what's easy in this moment. And in every moment, you've almost got to do the opposite. You've got to be willing to engage with what's hard and put off what's easy. What's easy can wait till later because you're too concerned with engaging and accomplishing what's difficult and challenging right now in this moment. And if you adopt that as your new meme, your new blueprint, your new belief structure, if you adopt that right there, it will fundamentally change how you live. It really will. And don't let yourself slip. Don't make concessions. Because the more you can hold to that principle, the more powerful you will be. And the more powerful you'll be in every moment. And the more you will take on bigger and bigger and bigger challenges. And if there's one thing I've learned about success, you can boil it down to this. The people who are willing to take on bigger and bigger and bigger challenges create bigger and bigger and bigger success. Because success is not easy. It's like signing yourself up for freaking torture, if you want to know the truth. Like, you're going to have to work harder than you can even believe right now to actually get to whatever your biggest goals are that you're not close to. If you're not close to your big goals, you've got to work harder than you can freaking believe to get there. So when you sign yourself up for success, know what you're signing yourself up for. And when you live like I just described, when you live those principles, that is giving yourself the true chance, the true shot that you need to really create it all and make it all happen. So my friends, that's my rooftop talk, my rooftop conversation with you today. I'm going to go get to something productive. Peace.